Alright, this is the Surron Ultra Bee off-road review and everything you need to know. Let's break it down. Alright, what's it like to ride a stock Surron Ultra Bee off-road? In this video, I'm going to go over what it's like to ride a stock Surron Ultra Bee off-road. I'll go over the pros and cons, and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end of the video. First, let's talk about the bike. It's a 2025 stock Surron Ultra Bee. The wheels is an 18-inch rear with a 19-inch front. Normally a dirt bike has an 18-inch rear with a 21-inch front. The suspension is not 43 millimeters. It's got some internals going, but it's not standard 43. A dirt bike is 49 millimeters. Aftermarket suspension is 43 millimeters. Battery power, it's a 74 volt, 60 amp hour, 21 kilowatt if you use the turbo. It's normally 18 kilowatts without the turbo button. And weight, it's sub 200 pounds, comes in at 195 pounds. When you're riding an Ultra Bee off-road, what is the most noticeable? Well, the power is noticeable. The torque, there's tons of torque. How the power is delivered, it's all with the throttle, right? There's no clutch needed. There's no gear shifting. It tractors at low speed easily, and it has power to plow through almost any terrain. So let's talk about why you don't need a clutch on an Ultra Bee. Because what do we use a clutch for? It's for shifting. It's for taking off at low speed. It's for building up power, getting the flywheel to spin up to half power. And most importantly, it is a spike of power, right? You do all those things. You rev up the engine, you get the flywheel going, you let out the clutch, it's a spike of power. Even with technical single track throttle control is all power. You don't have to do none of that stuff. The Ultra Bee has so much torque, you just crack the throttle. There's all the power you need right there. Talk about brakes and braking. The biggest thing is there's no foot brake. The rear and front brakes are all hand brakes. It's way easier to control and modulate a handbrake. There's more dexterity in your finger than a big toe with a thick ass boot trying to push on a pedal. There's no goofy foot positions or goofy body positions just to work the foot brake. A handbrake is way easier, gives you way more control, way more confidence inspiring, and way more consistent. Also, because the bike is smaller and lighter, it's much easier to maneuver, handle, and manipulate. I exhaust less physical energy to ride the same thing. I can ride longer without as much fatigue because it's easier, it takes less work, it's lighter, it's a pretty nice experience. Let's talk about the different environments. Does it change how you ride in certain situations? Like trail riding. Trail riding is the same. I just don't have to clutch. It's lighter. It's more maneuverable. The handbrakes, everything are right here. Makes trail riding much easier. Hill climbs, I believe, are even easier because you have plenty of torque simply twisting the throttle. I don't have to spin up the flywheel. I don't have to shift. I don't have to find the right gear. I don't have to find the power band. I don't have to modulate the throttle going up the hill because if I give too much, if I slow down too much in the wrong gear, I'm hosed, right? You don't have to worry about none of that stuff hill climbing. All you have to do is learn to adjust the throttle how you want it. Technical enduro riding is easy as well. I believe I'm not that great at it, but I think it's easier because you don't have all this other stuff to worry about. You're just cracking the throttle and using the brake to control everything. And it makes it much easier. Again, you're not building up power, you're not shifting, you're not clutching. All those extra things just complicate it. Some people may have thousands and thousands of hours with a clutch and may think it's easier to clutch than to learn, to adjust the throttle on an e-bike. It's easier to learn an e-moto like the Ultra Bee than to spend years trying to learn the clutch to ride hard enduro. Plain and simple. You might be really good at it, but it's way easier just to learn the throttle than it is to learn the clutch trying to do all that stuff. A clutch just complicates everything, and not having a clutch and all the torque at the twist of the throttle is way easier. Alright, let's talk about the pros of the Ultra Bee off-road. There's no shifting. There's no clutching. There's no foot brake. Not having all those things makes it much easier to ride off-road. There's plenty of torque right away just at the crack of a throttle. You can tractor over any kind of terrain and you can power over any kind of terrain with the Ultra Bee off-road. There's minimal maintenance, no air filters, no oil changes, no engine heat, no exhaust heat, no liquid cooling system. I can go on and on and on. It's just way easier to maintain. All I really have to worry about is my belt, my tire pressure, and my battery. And what's the cons? Well, there's only two really. There's range and there's suspension. Suspension it's not that bad on the bike. I find it kind of stiff, which isn't bad coming stock because it means you can hit a lot of stuff pretty hard, big jumps and stuff, and it's not going to be a problem. It's not fully adjustable, but it is adjustable. And I've adjusted it out as soft as I can, and it's still too stiff for my type of riding. I do hit stuff pretty hard at times, but I still find it stiff for most daily riding. Is aftermarket suspension something I might do? Maybe. The way I feel now, I would prefer something a little better suspension, but I may upgrade suspension, but that's going to be down the road. The other big con to it is the range. I've gotten 60 miles of range out of one charge on the Ultra Bee, but that depends on throttle control. The faster I ride, the less miles total I can get. If I ride fast, I can only get like 30, 35 miles of range. When I ride off-road, I can do over 40 miles and still have 20-25% battery left. So I can do 40 miles regularly pushing. So if you ride your Ultra Bee like a dirt bike and you trailer the bike to your riding trails, if you ride it that way, it's not a problem. But if you're trying to travel long distances or go on camping trips, and the Ultra Bee is just not going to work for you riding it that way. Riding for a few hours is not a problem for track days or local trail rides, but traveling is not an option. So it does limit the type of off-road riding you're doing. Like, you're not going to do any moto camping, no adventure travel, no long distance rides, right? It's more local stuff, or you take that bike, you trailer that bike somewhere and you ride stuff for several hours. It's good. It's perfect for that type of stuff. So let's get into what are my final thoughts. I think the Ultra Bee is really good off-road. It's easier to ride, it's easier to learn with, less to think about, takes less physical ability and less energy to ride. It has minimal maintenance, which I really like because I want to ride bikes, I don't want to work on them. I love the Ultra Bee and I believe they are the future, if not already. Even pro riders will say the same thing. Travis Pastrana says the e-motos are better and would have made his career easier. Why would it have made his career easier? Well, because the torque on the bike just helps it spin faster to do more, like he does jumps and does flips, and all that torque just helps the bike rotate easier, faster, more. It just makes it easier to control, do tricks, flips, all that stuff in the air. And Travis Pastrana is on record saying that. Even world-renowned enduro champion and expert Graham Jarvis says that e-motors are way better for technical single-track hard enduro riding that he does because it's lighter, because it's instant torque, because he says like everything is just easier to do. And he says you don't need a clutch. He says a clutch just complicates it, because you can change the mapping on these to do whatever you want. I agree with him, but I believe that as well. You don't need, I think clutches on these e-motos are dumb. And everybody wants to try to put a clutch on them. Everybody wants to try to make their e-moto ride like their dirt bike. We don't want to ride them like a dirt bike. We want them to be easier, to go through all this stuff and much easier. Dirt bikes are cool, but they're complicated. Clutching, braking, shifting, revving the engine, finding the power band, spinning the flywheel up. Even pro riders are agreeing the e-motos are better to ride for all the off-road riding we normally do on gas dirt bikes. Most of it is easier. Some things will take an adjustment, but most of us don't have the time learned on a clutch like pros do. But here's the thing. We'll learn the throttle faster on an e-moto than we're going to learn technicalities of a clutch for hard enduro, hill climbing, all that stuff. It takes years to learn a clutch doing that stuff. Just ask Graham Jarvis. But if you have any questions, ask them down below. I'll try to answer them. Also, I got affiliate links down below. If you want to support the channel, please use the affiliate links. Rocky Mountain ATV. Got some good ones down there. That's the best way to support the channel, though, is using my links when you purchase stuff. Doesn't cost you anything, gives me a small kickback. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more Ultra Bee content. I'm going to break down the Ultra Bee. All right, catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. See ya.